What's going on? My name is Shannon O'Connor. I am a DJ from right here in Stirling. I lived in Scarborough for 3 years now, but always been in WA. And yeah, I started DJing probably about 10 years ago, and I've just risen up through all the event types, and now it's my full-time job. And I run an agency here as well, so we book out DJs, singers, and saxophonists for all the event types. So community events, corporate events, weddings, school balls, and then clubs and bars as well. Yeah, so for me, inspiration kind of draws back to when I was younger. I used to love entertaining people. I did a lot of drama and theatre and whatnot, and I loved just making people have a good time and smiling and being happy. And I also had a massive love for music, so I think that the inspiration was kind of like fusing those two elements together when I discovered DJing, that I could, both entertain and it involved music. And for me, that was like the critical moment where I was like, this is what I want to do. I didn't really know, I wanted to be like an actor or something when I was younger. And then I was quite good at maths, so I was like, I'll just do accounting. And my dad was like, don't you do accounting, you hate it. So then, yeah, then I discovered music, and then it was always just a hobby to start off with. And then after a while I was like, let's make this my full-time job. So when I was about 16 years old, I was doing a lot of drama. I was in high school, and then I got this set of decks for my birthday from my parents, and I was so excited because I loved music. And I kind of was just playing in my bedroom for like hours on end every single day for close to 6 months, until I actually played out at a gig. And I remember it was one of my friend's 17th birthdays, and then she was like, oh, you want to come to my 17th? I was like, yeah. I was like, do you need a DJ? Little 17-year-old me trying to be a little hustler. I remember getting there, and I had only electro house and Ministry of Sound albums. And then I got there and I was like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna like this music or whether she's gonna want radio hits, So I had to quickly get all the radio tunes. And then that was a big learning curve into what it actually is, It's not about what I like all the time, it's about what everyone else likes and entertaining the crowd. With my own DJing, I think there's a lot of pluses that come from, playing out in venues a lot and being able to find music and play it and see the reaction before you play the bigger shows. So I'll play a show say New Year's Eve at Ice Cream Factory, and I'll have played a bunch of shows leading up to that, and I've tried out a whole bunch of edits and songs and whatnot, and got to know which ones get a really good reaction. A great example of that is a song maybe a current radio song, or even a throwback, maybe Black Eyed Peas Pump It. Whenever you play the intro to that song, people go really crazy, And that song's so many years old, but it still gets such a good reaction. So you might create an edit which has the intro of that song and then blends into a current song, And then by finding that gem and creating that nice drawback from the old stuff and the new stuff, you can kind of create this new unique energy which combines both of the elements of the song. So there's been a lot of highlights. It kind of depends on what aspect you're looking at. I've had nights where I've been playing as the sun sets on a beach in Malta, and it's just a whole bunch of people having pina coladas and me just playing groovy tunes, and I'm just this is so cool. I'm just DJing in this random country, I don't even know any of these people, and they're all just there having a good time. So there's been really a lot of situations like that where I've reflected and been this is a really cool opportunity and a really cool situation to be in. So those are highlights in themselves, but then there's also the bigger highlights. I did an event last year in KL, and I didn't actually DJ, I was just emceeing, and there was I think there was 20,000 people there, and it was a fun run. So they did this big run, and then after there's a big music festival. And I remember there was all 20,000 were all there, and I'm on the mic how we feeling out there? And they're just roaring at me, and I'm just kind of this is crazy. So I think that the one thing that is a testament to how far I've come with my passion for entertainment and music and whatnot is just saying yes to everything. There's been so many situations where I've just said yes, and I had no idea what I was doing, and then figured it out, just before or on the actual night. And that's led to more opportunity and if not opportunity, at least a learning experience. Obviously at the start, people are always oh, that's great exposure. We don't have any budget for to pay you, but it's great exposure. And that's awesome up until a certain point where you're trying to make a living out of it. But I did a few gigs for free, and then I started doing a lot of like after balls for the school balls that were north of the river. And this would be like a big party with like 400 kids from midnight until 5 AM after their school ball. And they were so fun. And I'd like go and set up for 3 hours with like all these lighting rigs and LED bars, and like I'd bring like 6 speakers in and try and make it as cool as possible. And then there was a girl who was at one of the after balls, and it turns out that she was the sister of one of the guys who runs a bar in the Greek Islands. So when I tried to find a job there and like was hitting up all the bars, he took a liking to me and said like, yeah, your mix is really cool. I've got like a couple people I'm choosing from, so I'll let you know. And then he was asking his sister of like her opinion, and then she was like, oh, that guy's awesome, like he DJ'd my school ball or my after ball. And then from that I got this like 4-month contract in the Greek Islands, you know. And then from that I met a guy who was this Maltese guy, and then I went and DJ'd in Malta for a month on boat parties and, you know, all crazy parties over there. And then from that I DJ'd in where was it, in Hungary for Kentucky. You know, all these different opportunities came from literally like doing that one after ball, you know. And I probably got that one after ball from saying yes to a whole bunch of stuff before that. So it just shows, like, if you just say yes and put yourself out there as much as possible, then, you know, the gigs will come, and yeah, good times around.